Welcome back to the channel. Sorry I haven't posted much in a while. This move is taking forever and I don't get internet till Monday. So let's get going. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, as in today's video we are going to talk about how many Oilers players, besides the three main ones that we know, will hit the 50-point plateau this season. And that has been the struggle with the Edmonton Oilers. Not a lot of guys going over 50 points. It's the same three: Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, and McDavid. Well, if we have all this depth that we have now, that should change. So let's go over the stats from last season. Just a couple players, and that's it. So of course you start with Draisaitl, 110 points, McDavid 97, Nugent Hopkins 61. We don't expect Nuge to be a 100-point guy like McDavid or Draisaitl. 61 in 65 games, that's perfect for him. He might not be a point per game player, but if he's anywhere between that 0.8 to 1, that's fine by me. That's producing. That's what a producer is. Unless you're superstars like McDavid and Draisaitl. Sorry. Then there's a drop by 27 points. After Nugent Hopkins, it's Zach Kassian, 34 and 59, Clefbaum 34 and 62, Nurse 33 and 71, Neal 31 and 55, Yamamoto 26 and 27. Well, we can't really. If Yamamoto actually played all 70 games, he would have been in the 50-60 point range. There's no doubt about it. Chiasson 24 and 65, Baird 21 and 71. Archibald 21 and 62, Sheehan 15 and 66, Gagne 12 and 36, and so on and so forth. Everyone else is bottom of the list here. Now, you might say, well, yeah, we got the depth. Why are you talking about this? If you look at good teams have roughly 5 to 8 players that hit the 50 by the 50-point plateau mark. Those are the teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning, wins the Stanley Cup 2 years ago. St. Louis, that was a depth team that actually was a lot of scoring power. Now, I'm not saying Edmonton doesn't have scoring power right now. As you can see on the screen, Nuge scores the second of the game. But there's too big of a gap between Nugent Hopkins and the fourth guy. It's been there for years, since Eberle left, or got traded, sorry. That gap has been there. When we had Jordan Eberle, that gap was a lot smaller, and Eberle was a point-producing guy. Now, I said we need between 5 and 8. One of those is a wild card. The eighth one is a wild card. The eighth guy on your team usually should be a defenseman. So let's start with number 4. I think Kailer Yamamoto will hit that 50-point plateau, especially playing alongside Draisaitl. We don't know if Nuge is going to the McDavid's line, stay on that line. We all think he's going to McDavid's line. Probably is going to happen. Sorry, I'm just stuffed up here. So Kailer Yamamoto will, this is my prediction, will hit the 50-point plateau. And who knows? We never know if maybe Yamamoto goes to McDavid's line. He is one of those gritty guys that, can put the puck in it, isn't afraid to shoot. And maybe, it becomes the McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Yamamoto line, and Puljujarvi jumps up to the second line. We don't know. We're not Coach Dave Tippett. We don't know. I would like Yamamoto to play with both. See who he has better chemistry with. Number 5 is recently signed Dominic Kahun. You're coming off not a bad season if you look at statistic-wise, and career-wise, 6.4 points a game. He hasn't, when he was in Pittsburgh, he didn't play with Crosby or Malkin. Yes, he played with Taves in Chicago, but other than that, playing in Buffalo, he didn't really play with Eichel or anything. So Dominic Kahun, I think, will hit the 50-point mark. There's chemistry. Chemistry is huge. Why do you think McDavid and Draisaitl are so good together? Yes, they're elite players, but they have chemistry. It's like when you put Jonathan Toews with Patty Kane or the Sedin brothers. They had unreal chemistry, and they were playing together since a young age. U16, okay, yeah, but that's still 16 years old. You get to know a guy, keep watching him. When it comes to Dominic Kahun and Leon Draisaitl, there's a bunch of chemistry there. And, Dominic Kahun is known to be a playmaker. He ranks, I think it said 60th last year in assist 5-on-5 or an assist in general. He is a playmaker passer, and Leon Draisaitl is a bona fide goal scorer. That's why I said I wouldn't be afraid to put Puljujärvi with them to get the shooting down. Okay, so that was number 5. Number 6 is my, wild card. I said number 8 usually, but number 6. I believe Tyson Barrie will hit the 50-point plateau or get really close. Don't quote me on that. Anywhere between 5 points, I think Tyson Barrie will get, considering he most likely will quarterback that first power play. As of right now, everyone has him slated at the third line defenseman. I don't see that happening. It's a possibility because he is an offensive defenseman. Put him with a defensive defenseman like Russell. Could work, but who knows? We've seen stranger things. He could always wind up with Larson and keep Jones and Russell together as a mentorship. So that's number 6. That's my wild card. My number 7. Depending on where this guy plays, yes, he Puljujärvi. I believe, it's not unrealistic with the depth of this team and the excitement that we say Jesse Puljujärvi will be a 50-point goal scorer. I believe he will. Do I think he'll have more goals than assists? No, I think it will be equal. And like I said, it's dependent on who he plays with. As of right now, I'm slating him with Turris and probably Kassian or Ennis on that third line. I'd go more Ennis. Ennis would make that line a lot better than Kassian would. Or it could be James Neal. But Puljujärvi has tons of confidence. He's excited to be back. He's not going to be that sluggish player that, I want to play top line minutes, blah, blah, blah. He knows that. He knows he has to earn that. And I believe he could be a 50-point goal scorer. And that was number 7. Number 8. I'm going to have a toss-up here. I'm either going to say Darnell Nurse. Yes, believe it or not, I'm taking another defenseman. Or James Neal. Why I say Nurse is because he will be on that second power play. If they do it how I said in a video, how you only play McDavid for 1:15, that power play unit, or just McDavid's line off that. So you take Nugent McDavid off, and have the second power play unit play the 45 seconds. If that second power play unit makes the other team tired, defensive, you do a slow switch, you get McDavid's line back in there, I bet they score. And Darnell Nurse will be the defenseman on that second power play unit. I think him and Bear. And that's why, it's a wild card between him and James Neal. Now going to Neal. He did have a better season last year than his previous year in Calgary. No doubt about that. He was injury prone. He was playing with, I believe it was a sprained ankle for majority of the final until the COVID break. He was playing with a sprained ankle. And that happened around Christmas, they said. Okay, so there's that. Now you're thinking, well, okay, well, we got all this depth. He's probably going to be first, second power play with all those. If he's first, Tyson Barrie will get all those point shots on net, or most of them, of course. You can't shoot 100%. It's nearly impossible. But Tyson Barrie gets those wrist shots on net, James Neal can finish them. There's no doubt about it. And I believe James Neal will be... Oh, sorry. Just getting a call. I believe James Neal could hit that 50 plateau. I believe he could become that 20-goal scorer again and have the assist. I really do. So that is my top 8. You know, there could be another wild card, you know, in that mix. And that could be a guy like Ethan Bear, or maybe Tyler Ennis just takes off this year. We don't know. If Tyler Ennis takes off this year, watch out, other teams. Because then, that being possibly 9 guys with 50-plus points, our goal scoring would be unreal. And what happens when you get all these 50-point guys is the time on attack changes. So all of a sudden, yeah, you're scoring 4 or 5 goals a game. That means you're in the offensive zones for, say, 15 minutes. Let's say 3 minutes per goal. Well, right there, that's almost a period of hockey. That's not including when you score or anything. So right there, that changes the game. That changes the aspect of what the goalies have to do. The goalies could not face a shot all period, possibly. It's a possibility. And I believe those guys could be the reason why this Edmonton Oilers team will be a lethal team this upcoming season. But let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one.